This Friday will mark the 50th anniversary of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, November 22nd, 1963 to November 22nd, 2013. A lot of conspiracy theorists have been saying that they are predicting corporate media is going to take the 50th anniversary as an opportunity to continue suppressing the obvious conspiracy theories which are true about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Gallup did a poll asking people about this. 61% of Americans believe that others besides Lee Harvey Oswald were involved in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Only 52% believe that in 1963. So more people today than in 1963 believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone. 81% believed that it was not just Lee Harvey Oswald in 1976 and in 2001. So it has dropped significantly, the portion of Americans that think Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone. 11%, or let's see, what other information do I have? 7% say that the CIA was involved. 5% say that it was Fidel Castro. 5% say special interest groups. 3% say racist groups. Some say Lyndon B. Johnson. Others say the Soviet Union, foreign governments, etc. The poll was a standard Gallup poll, around 1,000 U.S. adults, conducted a little bit earlier this month. Lewis, when we look, let's take this piece by piece. When you look first at that number, 61% today believe that the so-called official story that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone is not true. Does that number strike you as surprisingly high, low, or does it not surprise you at all?
I find it surprisingly high.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just seems like that. It seems high. 61% of Americans believe that something else was going on there and that the story we have is not an accurate one. I don't know. To me, that seems higher than most conspiracy theories, right?
Okay, and then how about comparing to the 81% of 1976 and again in 2001? What do you attribute the significant decrease in the percentage of Americans who believe that Lee Harvey Oswald did not act alone from just 12 years ago?
That I don't know. I'm not sure what to think of that. It could just be if they're only talking to 1,000 people each time. I mean, maybe they're just not talking to enough people.
Yeah, I mean, they would say that they've figured out that with their 1,000 U.S. adults properly distributed, that they're going to get accurate information. When I read about this, I understand that when you read these accounts of how one bullet did all of these things and the magic bullet theory, of course, that it doesn't quite add up. It might seem that way, but at the same time, we have to remember, if you have a specific theory or idea about what happened, it is your responsibility to prove it. As Carl Sagan said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And while there has been much doubt cast upon the so-called official story, we cannot forget it is the responsibility of the theorist, and I use the term colloquially, not scientifically. It is the responsibility of the theorist to prove their theory. It is not the responsibility of others to disprove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's, I think, where we get stuck on just about every one of these issues, Lewis, whether it's the moon landing or 9/11 or JFK or Paul McCartney died and was replaced by someone who looks just like him, plays just like him, sings just like him. The impetus, the burden of proof seems to be reversed.
Right. And that's just something I guess we can't understand. That's in the mind of the conspiracy theorists. Maybe not all of them, but yeah, it is quite annoying to have to explain that to people when they're making these extraordinary claims.
Send me your thoughts about the JFK assassination in the next, 12 or 14 hours. And then if we get some good ones, if we get enough, we'll do a follow-up tomorrow with some of the opinions of our audience. So send those in. 219-2DavidP is the voicemail. You can email us through our website. We'll talk about it tomorrow if we get some good responses.